Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:34. Listen, I'm in no rush to get this thing started.
You're not? Why not? Happy New Year!
Season's greetings. Merry New Year to you too, Steve.
It feels like I haven't seen you since last year. We're doing that shtick again? It's Ranch Dressing Day!
Listen, I've been here for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Let's not start to hurt each other so soon.
It's going to be nice and sunny today, but cold. A high of 37. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 39. It's a mere 21 degrees in downtown Springfield.
Oh, man, what a way to start the new year. I don't know. We got so much going on. It's like an onslaught of heavy dosage content.
You know. We said last year we were going to have this show a little bit tighter this year. That was our resolution.
Yeah, well, that always starts on January 3rd.
And you know what? 2025 is going to be our year. I just know it.
Listen, we've already shared a couple stories that we've said we cannot talk about this on the air.
Yeah, you know what fun is that?
I know, but as you can imagine, I just can't. It's 5:35 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Listen for
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:51 and Guns N' Roses with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
It's going to be sunny today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It is 21 right now in downtown Springfield.
I forgot to mention earlier that if you're going to be listening to the podcast later on today or sometime down the road, it's all brought to you by Marcotte Ford. They got your back for sales, service, parts, and rentals. Marcotte Ford in Holyoke.
Good thing we did those New Year's resolutions to
good
get that
thing.
stuff right up on top.
That was the first one I said. That's going to be my big New Year's resolution to open the show with that information.
Well, there you go.
I missed it by 10 minutes.
Do we have anybody sponsoring this lovely Hollywood trash?
No, we do not, Steve.
Oh, well, why don't we just get right into it then?
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Snoop Dogg has a new gig of Olympic-sized proportions. The rapper is joining NBC Universal's coverage of the 2024 Summer Games, taking place in Paris. Snoop will be on site in the French capital to provide regular reports for the Olympics primetime show, beginning on July 26 on NBC and Peacock.
P.
The announcement was made Sunday night during halftime of Sunday night's football coverage of the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings on NBC and Peacock. Throughout the game, Snoop will speak with NBC Olympics host Mike Tirico and provide his unique take on what's happening in Paris.
Wow.
Faux shizzle.
I got to tell you, for a brief period of time, like, for example, when he was on trial for vehicular homicide, you thought, well, maybe Snoop ain't really on the up and up. But isn't it interesting that since that trial, he has become America's treasure?
What?
And really, is there anyone you'd rather see provide Olympic commentary other than Snoop?
Yeah, I'm not really getting NBC's. I mean, if you're talking about sports and athletics, the guy who sits there and smokes joints all day long is really not the poster boy for health that everybody really wants to see.
That's where you are so misguided, Steve. He coaches youth football.
Okay, he coaches youth football, but...
Well, isn't there a youth football event in the Olympics this year in Paris?
I don't think so. Is that the Pee-wee? Yeah, who's going to win the gold in Pee-wee football?
Well, then maybe we need to reassess sending him there.
Hey, we're the only ones that competed in this event.
I thought there were going to be other 10 and 11-year-old kids playing football.
Oh, you don't have the everybody gets a ice pop after the game?
Yeah, that's right. They'll all go to the Paris Dairy Queen.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Snoop doing his little commentary on different things.
That's an understatement.
He said, I grew up watching the Olympics, and I'm thrilled to see the incredible athletes bring their A game to Paris. It's a celebration of skill. Faux shizzle.
It's going to be lit.
Didn't I just say last year that we don't do enough stories about the Backstreet Boys?
You did say that.
Well, AJ McClain is getting divorced. He's starting fresh in the new year. He says he's getting divorced after previously separating from his wife. AJ and Rochelle Deanna McLean just released a joint statement on, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop.
Yeah, on social media announcing plans to divorce. The estranged couple says, as you know, we have been separated for over a year now. While we have hope for reconciliation, we have decided to officially end our marriage. Because he's like, wow, I get to do all these things and nobody has to tell me what to do. Yes, we're going through with this thing.
Seems to me I've just retrieved my testicles.
AJ and Rochelle continue. It is with deep love and respect that we have made this decision. Our focus now is moving forward in the healthiest way possible with friendship and co-parenting our girls at the forefront of this next chapter, yada, yada, yada. Well, at least they're being amicable about it. You know, a lot of couples, there's always sometimes one that might be more scorned than the other.
I don't know how amicable it is if you have to rely on spokespeople to make these kinds of, press releases, to make these kinds of announcements.
Well, they released the press release. Wasn't like it was,
But, most
people,
couples who get divorced don't usually go through a publicist.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I wouldn't, think any differently of somebody who did a public relations stint.
When I got divorced, I didn't make a big PR thing out of it.
You should have.
I chose not to.
There was a lot of people trying to mine their beeswax that didn't belong to them.
Well, that is true. That is true.
The Mandalorian has topped the list of the most watched streaming originals back in 2023. All the way back in 2023, 2 days ago.
Didn't it come out like 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
No, it's the most streamed show.
Gotcha.
Star Wars reigns supreme on the streaming in 2023 as the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian ranked as the most watched streaming original in the U.S., according to data compiled by Whip Media. That's surprising with all the other shows that have been out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would have thought like Stranger Things would have been
that's
a little bit
That's what I mean.
More.
Something else. But there you go. The Mandalorian. George Lucas is he just sniffs and he makes $1,000.
I think that's a pure Disney thing now. He sold it all to Disney.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's still making, you're generating money.
Oh, of course.
He sold the money, but he probably invested it in something. He goes, you smell that? That's the sound of my success. Being more successful with me not there with it.
That's my franchise burning.
Jeremy Renner is marking the 1-year anniversary of his near-fatal snowplow accident by thanking his little girl for her support. On Monday, the Avengers star called his 10-year-old daughter, Ava, reason number one for his recovery after he was critically injured on New Year's Day in 2023. I asked her to wait for me when I first saw her January 14th as I arrived home, Renner captioned a heartfelt Instagram post, which included a photo of Ava hugging him. As I got, I don't know. I lost that line. Yeah, it just jumped up. But anyway, he's gonna be back filming The Mayor of Kingstown.
I like that show.
I do too, and good for him that he's back and he's doing that again.
When you, if you ever bother to spend a little bit of time reading the details of that accident,
it's disgusting.
It's horrifying.
And it's like one of those things. He's so lucky that he's alive. Like, so lucky that he's alive.
I would have rather have died
and you know
than have gone through all of that.
It sounds like some rich guy idiot move. Like, I got all this money and I'm buying one of these like machines. That was the thing that Jack Nicholson used, wasn't it? In The Shining?
I think so.
That big giant snow eater climber thing. Well, he's gonna be back and he's gonna be better than ever.
I hope so.
I think they should write that into the script of the Mayor of Kingstown. Oh, he got run over by a snowplow.
by a snowplow.
Hey, he was at his Utah home. Kim Kardashian wore a soft blue gown to her holiday party.
Really? Mm-hmm. She must have had something to say.
Oh my God, the last time I had anything soft and blue was when I tongue-teased Ray J's dirty onion ring and gave him Smurf stickles in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
Well, so much for that tower of onion rings I was going to order today.
Did you ever have a case of the Smurf stickles?
No, I have not.
Because they're blue,
Caitlin?
When you finish, that's called the Papa Smurf.
Yes, of course.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, I never got that down in Dirty with Your Mother, Chris Kim, but I once put...
Oh, boy.
I once put it in the mucus minge.
Okay.
I had yesterday's slime rib pita pocket sandwich special. Did you ever have slime rib from yesterday?
I can't say I've ever
The
ordered
au
that.
jus is delicious.
I bet it is. What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I got sucked up and spun by the pork tornado.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Way to close
it's
it.
a Hormel.
Yes.
Sponsored by Hormel. Emphasis on the Mel, if you know what I'm saying.
Really? That's not where I would have put it.
Oh, really?
No, not for me.
Well, I guess we think differently around here, don't we? And that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock at 6:10, and Def Leppard with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
I got to stop starting having conversations 2 seconds before we
Yeah,
go
I know,
on the air.
because it sounded like a really interesting story and what I would have had a lot of questions for, but there was 7 seconds to go.
Well, it's a great story that we can't talk about on the air anyway, so there you go. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be sunny with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 35. It's 20 in downtown Springfield.
You see, I want to get a read on what you would do in this situation.
All right.
Okay, I was at a regionally well-established pharmaceutical chain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say which one.
What does it rhyme with?
CBS.
All right.
And let's just say that I had a prescription that needed to be filled.
Uh-huh.
Because, and I'm only saying this because I was there to fill a prescription. Actually, a prescription I had changed dosages, and so I was there to get a new dosage of a medication I have been taking for a while.
A same medicine, higher dosage.
Slightly higher dosage.
All right.
Now, I'm not going to say which one it is because, medical privacy means the world to me. I've never been more private in all of my my many physical ailments, whether it be the AFib or the high blood pressure or any of the low aldosterone levels or the lack of serum potassium in my system. I never talk about that stuff because it's nobody's business but mine.
No, we had another guy in here that would tell you exactly where you were. Well, he's out today at the hospital. He's getting something removed from his stomach. But we can't say anything about his medical condition.
He's going in to have something removed, like a colon polyp.
Perhaps.
But I don't want to say anything.
No, I don't want to.
Anyway, I go to the pharmacy and I'm ready to pay. I give them my name, I give them my date of birth, and
What is that, by the way? And what is your exact address and your mother's maiden name? And
well, it's Michael Baxendale, September 15th, 1966, and my mother's maiden name is Hafar. Right. Anyway, so I go and the lady at the counter grabs it out of the bin, brings it back, and she says the pharmacist needs to speak to you about this. Now this is a pharmacist. This is a pharmacist that I don't really know. Someone who seems to be new at the store.
That's like getting in trouble at school. The pharmacist would like to speak with you. Like, you're going to the principal's office.
It feels just like that.
Yeah.
It does. It's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just minding my own business, trying to get some drugs.
Yeah, because you know what? The pharmacist is kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain back there.
Yeah, pay no attention to the fact I'm just, counting pills with a butter knife.
Right.
So the pharmacist comes over. And again, the normal pharmacist who was there was not there this day. This was a
abnormal pharmacist?
In a manner of speaking, yes. So she says to me, hello, Mr. Baxendale. Let me ask you a question about this particular pharmaceutical, which, I should say, she mentions loudly by name.
I always, no matter how secret that line is that you're in, they always speak loud enough for everybody to hear what you're getting anyway. So what's the difference?
Now, let's just for the sake of conversation, let's just say I got a prescription strength Midol for my menstrual cramps. I'm just using as a hypothetical situation, okay? Let's just say it goes like this. Hello, Mr. Baxendale. I would like to talk to you about your increased dosage of Midol.
Yeah.
And then she asks me if I'm experiencing any of these specific side effects. 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Are you having any any mood changes? Any blood in your stools? I mean, intense nausea or vomiting?
Is this like the symptoms that are on the commercials for the drugs?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. If you might suffer severe death and convulsions.
Yeah,
and spitting blood out of your mouth.
Lesions by the perineum. The grossest things you can imagine. She's asking me in front of everybody in the store.
Yeah.
Now, you ever been at a CVS around Christmas time?
I thought you said CBS.
Ever been to CBS?
No.
Around Christmas time?
I try not to do that.
There's a million people in there buying cards and whatnots.
Axe body spray.
Axe body spray. You name it. Everyone's there buying the Whitman stamplers. They're all there.
Probiotics.
So she's listing all the things that I might be experiencing loudly in front of 15 other people. And I just completed the sale and walked out. All the while thinking I should have said something. I should have said, I'm not experiencing any of those problems, but everybody else here was able to listen to what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, that's I don't understand this whole HIPAA thing.
If it's medical privacy, then show me a piece of paper with the things that may be concerning to you, but don't announce it to everybody. I mean, I don't want everybody to know what my business is. I'm experiencing very difficult menstrual cramps. I don't want the whole store to be in on the secret.
Hey, listen, you should change pharmacies. You wouldn't get that kind of treatment at a Ball Peens.
I don't know if I would or I wouldn't. I haven't dealt with a Ball Peens in a good long time.
They keep their mouths shut. Just like a good pharmacist should. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Everybody is entitled to a certain level of medical privacy, regardless of who it's with, whether it's with a nurse or a PA or your primary or anybody.
Yeah.
Your pharmacist should also be held to the same standard of medical privacy as everybody else who's dealing with your issues.
Yeah.
And I just this is incredibly uncomfortable. What would have happened had I been taking a medication with really embarrassing side effects?
Yeah, like hallucinations, memory loss, blood clots, compulsive behaviors, Stevens-Johnson syndrome. That sounds pretty horrible. Birth defects, and cancer.
I think anyone you talk about Stevens-Johnson.
Yeah. What's Stevens-Johnson syndrome? I'm just looking up these random side effects.
Smaller than usual, I believe.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It looks like a penis, only smaller.
Oh, that's what I'm suffering from. I got the Stevens-Johnson disease. Stevens-Johnson syndrome is a rare, serious disorder of the skin and mucous membranes. It's usually a reaction to medication that starts with flu-like symptoms, followed by a painful rash that spreads and blisters. But talk to your doctor if you experience any of these particular side effects.
Or have a very loud conversation with your pharmacist.
Yeah.
In front of other people.
All right, Mr. Bax and Nagle, are you having explosive diarrhea right now?
Well, explosive?
Yeah.
It really depends on your definition of explosive.
Are you experiencing any sexual side effects? Perhaps
are you
not being able to perform in the bedroom for your wife?
Mr. Baxendale, first of all, hand me your courtesy card for a discount. And are you having less than rigid erections?
Yes. Is your wife saying this doesn't really happen to every other guy? Is that what's going on with you?
I mean, I got a right here. I got a right to not have everybody in the store know what I'm dealing with.
All right, here's Mr. Mike Baxendale with Social Security number 041-222-8165. That's an extra number in there for some reason. I don't know why.
Are you having any testicular inflammation?
Yes. Did you? Why is your left testicle still swollen like the size of a grapefruit, as you put down on here as one of your symptoms?
Or has this prednisone helped?
Yeah. Are you pregnant? Because I got a buddy.
It's 6:20 with Bax and Nagle at Rock 102.
Are you looking for a great job?
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 625 with Bax and Nagle and Boston at Rock 102.
I think Dan Brown or one of them folks over at Western Mass News has the forecast for you. It's going to be pretty chilly the next couple days.
Rock 102 and Aquapump are giving you a chance to hit the slopes this winter. Sign up at rock102.com for your chance to win a pair of lift tickets to an area mountain. Could be Berkshire East, Wachusett, Bolton Valley, Saskadina, several others. We'll choose one winner per week. Your chance to hit the slopes brought to you by Aquapump and Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
Looking possibly snow this weekend. About time.
Do we know how much we're dealing with?
I don't know. I just saw this giant radar thing and it blankets the entire Northeast. So
good.
maybe we'll get a couple of inches or so.
I'd prefer not to.
Well, the problem is the ground isn't really frozen yet. We haven't had consistent days of...
You've had 4 or 5 days of 45, 50 degrees.
Yeah, so you're not getting that snow type of ground that you need to have it stick around for so long. I don't know. It's yes, I wish there was snow because you're talking about an economy that runs off the fact that we have snowstorms, snowplow drivers, skiers, all that stuff. But on the other hand, I'm kind of digging it, man. I don't have to dig it, if you know what I'm saying.
I know. And I might just let it melt.
You could let it melt. In your mouth or in your hand?
On my driveway.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you want to laugh?
I suppose.
All right.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
On Rock 102.
I make you laugh.
Springfield's Classic Rock.
All right, so a man goes in for his annual prostate exam, right?
Yes.
And he's there standing next to the table, and the doctor walks in and says, "Now then, Steve, don't worry if you get an erection during the examination. It's perfectly normal, and it happens all the time. Do not get embarrassed." And the man turns around and goes, "Hey, doc, my name isn't Steve." And the doc says, "Yeah, I know. I was talking to myself." He might get his little jollies off of that with the guy. I don't know. Some dudes are into that kind of thing.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
It's 6:30 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thank you, Bax.
First newscast of the year.
How about that?
I'm excited.
10 people, and we start with horrible news. 10 people are without a home after a fire on Main Street in Indian Orchard on Monday. The fire department said that the fire at 297 Main Street started in the second-floor bathroom, but the source is undetermined at this time. There were no injuries. 10 people are being assisted by the Red Cross. The arson and bomb squad is investigating. Well, at least everybody made it out, but and just 5 days after Christmas. Or no, 7 days after Christmas.
Fire in the bathroom, though.
Curling iron.
Candle.
Candle.
That could happen.
That's a big one, too. I worry about that stuff. I'm not a big I like burning candles, but not for very long. After maybe 1 or 2 hours, I have to blow the candle out because I'm afraid that the thing will overheat and melt, and I'll forget about it, and all of a sudden we'll be out on the streets.
We got a very nice gift from the Hawkman. It was one of those wax melting things. It makes the house smell good without actually burning anything.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got and it's actually very nice. It's
yes.
a very nice gift from the Hawkman.
But you still have to plug it in. And
but you're not going to burn anything. You might get a wax on something, but you're not going to spark a fire.
No, but anything that's on for an extended period of time plugged in could overheat. And
true.
I'm just kind of trying to be like Fire Marshal Bill.
You're like Smokey the Bear.
It's just Smokey Bear. There's no the in there. He didn't have a middle name. The is not his middle name.
Are you sure about that?
Just Smokey Bear. It's not Smokey the Bear. I know you're going to look it up and you're going to go, you know what, Steve? You're absolutely right. I shouldn't have doubted you for a second.
See. Smokey the Bear, Smokey the Bandit. Oh, gee, I don't even know. Smokey Bear. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
There is no. That was ingrained into our heads when Smokey came to visit our school back when I was in 3rd grade. It's not the bear. It's Smokey Bear.
Someone's taking his job as Smokey Bear a little too seriously.
Yeah. Is it McGruff Crime Dog or is it McGruff the Crime Dog?
I think it's the Crime Dog. Or is it one of those Mandela effect type of things?
Well, I haven't seen him in a while either.
Apparently, he hasn't taken a big enough bite out of crime.
Well, maybe he took too many bites out of crime.
Or
and then they had to euthanize him because he was too much.
Or due to budget cuts, he was offered early retirement, and that's that.
Listen, we gave him a chance when he took the first bite out of crime, but it was the second bite that caused the major injuries. We had to bring him to the shelter and euthanize him. And that was his last words.
He had to be put down.
I'm going to take a bite out of crime.
One last time.
Mm-hmm. Route 202 in well, wait a minute. I'm so tired of these 22 News not updating these stories. There was a crash in Granby yesterday, and the road was closed at 7 a.m., and they said they'll bring you updates, and I don't think the road is still closed from yesterday morning at 7 a.m.
It's Granby, though.
Yeah, I guess it does take a while for the horse and carriage to get out there, the towing horse and carriage. Is that what they send up there? You think Interstate Tow sends out an actual horse?
They might.
That's way up north.
You should see what happens when there's a fire there. They got a whole line of people, handing buckets to each other.
Oh, like the bucket brigade.
It's a bucket brigade.
Yeah, I was once part of those.
Really?
The bucket brigade. It was my first job when I moved to Huntington. It was part of the bucket brigade, but it was whiskey, and we were getting everybody drunk.
But you were drinking it by the bucket.
Yeah, and there was none left by the time it got to the actual person who needed the whiskey. With the calendar turning, many lucky parents got to welcome their newborns soon after the clock struck midnight. New Year brings in new life, and at around 8 a.m. Monday morning, 7-pound, 11 ounces Hania was born at Bay State Medical Center, and her excited father told 22 News that no one would forget her birthday.
Oh, that's great.
Wouldn't it be weird if you did forget her birthday? Every first of the year?
I have a cousin. Actually, my first cousin is a January 1st baby.
Yeah.
And her sister, who's like a couple years younger, was born on January 2nd.
Oh,
or maybe it's the other way around. Either way.
Yeah, I saw the story of the twins one being born at 11:59 and the other one being born at 12:10 or whatever. 10 minutes later, the twin comes out.
Yeah, right.
Man, you're going to hold that over your head for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you. I think I know better.
I ran into twins like a month ago at a party, and they say they joke. Oh, yeah, I'm older by like 6 minutes. So that causes the sibling rivalry in there.
Right.
Anyway, the Hania was not the first baby born in 2024 at Bay State Medical Center, but not far off. Hania's father, Mohammed, spoke to 22 News on Zoom, where he and his wife, Aksa, were swaddling their baby. Wait a minute, how come you couldn't get the first baby born?
It's a good question.
Because somebody got up, nobody came into 22 News until 5:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, I wonder if anybody." Oh well, those people are done with.
11:30 News is done. We're done for the day.
All right, let's get a crew down there and see if we can get another baby coming out around 8:00, and we'll do this story.
This is what we saw.
Yeah. Oh my God! You should see what we saw. There was afterbirth and everything.
The whole birth canal open like the Lincoln Tunnel.
Then the doctor was like, "Oh my God, do you want to cut the cord to this guy?" And he nearly fainted. He had never seen anything like that before. It was crazy. There was blood everywhere.
And ice chips.
Yeah.
That were never used.
The baby was covered with all this white stuff. What is that?
Jesus, I don't know.
What is that stuff that comes out on the baby? I never knew that.
Nougat.
Is it nougat?
I believe it's nougat.
Is that what it
Yes.
is? Yeah. I remember the first time seeing that going, what is that?
It's the beauty of birth.
Yeah. You know what? I think it was, what was his columnist? Dave something.
Dave Barry?
Dave Barry
Yeah.
wrote this article years ago that says to watch your child being born is to know the meaning of icky. Because honestly, it's one of the most coolest yet disgusting things you will ever witness in your life, but don't suffer trauma from it. You know what I
that's
mean?
the weird thing.
Well, because it's a biological thing. You're not supposed to. It's
Unless you go through unless it's a complication. Yeah, if it's a complicated birth, you may have some level of trauma,
Yeah.
deep set psychological trauma.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I got through 3 deliveries without feeling any pain whatsoever.
That's wow. You didn't push. You didn't have to push that.
Yeah, but I was coaching. I was coaching
You
with
were
my cup
coaching.
full of ice chips.
coaching real hard. But yeah, that's it. It was a very weird experience to watch that twice. I watched it twice. You got
3 times.
You got to see it 3 times.
3 times.
But man, that was a lot of. We're gonna need a bucket in here. That's kind of how they call the.
Yeah, you'll be sleeping in this room tonight. Oh hell, I will.
I mean, but it is pretty amazing to see.
You're gonna serve us dinner after that in this same room.
What are you having tonight? Calamari? No way. That's exactly what that piece that came out afterwards looks like. All right. It's the start of the new year, and with that comes some new laws in Massachusetts. Let's take a look at each one. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
The tax relief plan. When Governor Healy took office last year, her administration quickly began working on creating a tax relief plan. A bill was later signed by Healy in October, marking the first major tax cuts in the state in more than 20 years. The bill is expected to provide $561 million for tax relief for the fiscal year 2024 and will grow to a total impact of more than $1 billion by 2027. A few of the highlights in the law: a major bump in the child-dependent tax credit, increasing the refundable tax credit for a dependent child from $180 to $310. Yeah, these
All
kids
right.
are finally paying off. And then $440 next year. Wow. And with no child or dependent cap. So you can have 20 babies.
Isn't it interesting that we
Yeah.
talk about this so soon after talking about the miracle of birth?
Well, I got a buddy who's into all this kind of thing. In addition, the bill raises the earned income tax credit, lowers short-term capital gains taxes, and has a number of reforms to increase housing supply and make shelter more affordable. Also in line, dental insurance reform. In 2022, Massachusetts resident voted in favor of a law relative to regulation of dental insurance, which will regulate dental insurance rates, requiring companies to spend at least 83% of premiums on members' dental expenses and quality improvements instead of using it for administration expenses. It would also require insurances to refund any excess premium to the customer.
That sounds on the surface like it's good for the consumer.
Yeah.
But as long as an insurance company is involved in this in some way, shape, or form, I never trust the idea that it's going to benefit the consumer.
Well, I don't understand. And Marty and I were talking about this last week because we were talking about dental work. And, he said he needs about $20,000 worth of dental work, which isn't really hard to do when you think about how,
That's extracting one tooth.
One procedure could be like $6,000 to $7,000.
Right.
But why have they separated? Why has it always been separated, dental and health insurance, when it's all really intertwined together? Because if you let it go and infect it or something like that, that is.
There are certain things that can happen inside your mouth that become medical problems, require surgeries or infections or whatever it could be. I mean, then you got something that a legitimate hospital, has to get involved in. I don't know why they separate it, but it just seems to me that if you're going to have insurance, dental should be a part of it.
It should. And I know, for little kids, dental insurance is part of your health insurance, but I don't know why that changes when they get to a certain age. They get to 5 years old, and then all of a sudden you got to have them on a policy. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. Everything about insurance it drives me up a wall. Okay, I barely understand any of it.
And archery, deer, and fall wild turkey season has been extended. Thank God. The pioneers who made this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Good news for Western Mass hunters. Archery season for deer and wild turkey will now open 2 weeks earlier in wildlife management zones 1 through 9. This will align the starting date of the archery season with zones 10 through 14.
Mm-hmm.
The archery season typically begins around the first full week of October and ends the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
And what do you do after that? You got to put the arrows away?
You got to put the arrows away. No more quills.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Is it too bad?
Well, I mean, is there some other woodland creature that can die
I'm sure they're
at my bloodthirsty hands?
Well, when I think of hunters and wild turkey, I think of old men sitting around drinking a bottle of wild turkey.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think about like going to a packy before you even leave.
Yeah. Why don't you take care of what about Parrot Bay season? When is that open?
I can't believe we're out here in the woods and you bring a blue nun.
Yeah, what is all these? What are other? There's got to be other a thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Captain Morgan was here last week.
Oh yeah, he was out here hunting.
Dr. McGillicuddy was making sure everybody was feeling good.
All of those folks were here enjoying themselves, trying to shoot with a bow and arrow after getting cocked in the middle of the woods.
And then Mr. Boston showed up, and no one was really happy with that. Like, really? You settled with Mr. Boston?
2 extra weeks of the season. Yay! We're going to Boston. Mr. Boston. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be sunny with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It's 20 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 6:49, and Jimi Hendrix of Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be sunny with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It's 20 right now in downtown Springfield.
You know, if you ever miss any part of the Bax and Nagle show, the daily podcast is brought to you by Marcotte Ford. They got you back for sales, service, parts, and rentals. Marcotte Ford in Holyoke. Also, check out Baxy's musical podcast this week. A repost of my interview from August of 2022 with the legendary Cheetah Chrome, the guitar player for the Dead Boys. And it's a hell of a story and a hell of an interview. And you can check that out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and on rock102.com. Some really cool things are coming up in the next few weeks. So make sure you are listening for all of that.
I was doing a lot of reading over the break here that we had.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, there's something on Reddit that just like kind of sticks out at you and goes, "Wow, I really wish or I'm really glad I don't have this kind of drama in my life." Right?
Okay.
So this is from a subreddit called "Off My Chest." That's not some like dirty Kim Kardashian thing.
No,
it's called "Off My Chest." It's like you kind of confess something, right?
Okay.
And this one says, "My first girlfriend is 40 years older than me."
His first girlfriend?
Yeah. I, 20 male, am in a relationship with a 62 female who is married.
Oh, boy.
First off, I know this is wrong and very effed up. Why are you doing it, dude? Right?
Why are you telling everybody about it?
Well, because we've been seeing each other for almost a year now. In the beginning, she just wanted to have an affair, and I wanted to have sex with somebody. However, as time went by, it got deeper. After the first time, she fell in love, and so did I.
Ah, boy.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, no.
I never felt these feelings before for a person, so I never knew what to expect. Her husband is abusive towards her and doesn't treat her right. I treat her right. Yeah. Is that what she's telling you?
Yeah.
That,
I mean,
he's abusive? He might be, he's probably one of like the nicest guy ever. You know what
I mean, even if he is abusive, dude, there's got to be somebody within 10 to 15 years of you rather than 40 years your senior.
Ever since the first time she has told me that she's going to divorce him in the new year and come live with me at my apartment, I was so excited because I really did enjoy every moment we spent together. However, as time went on, we had arguments over stupid things. More recently, I've lost so much weight from being stressed out, and she constantly talks and shames me for it. Every time she had a problem, I was there to talk her through it, but when I have a problem, she's just not there for me and shuts down and says things like, "We're going to end this," which is hard for me to hear because I'm so attached to her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen, I understand that when somebody says they're in an abusive relationship, that's a real thing. There's a lot of people who suffer from that.
Hell yeah.
But when you have behavior like that, where you're, you've unloaded all your stuff, but now the other person is unloading their stuff and you're just shutting them down, perhaps maybe the abusive portion has come into play because there's two people who can't really get along with each other to begin with.
Right. Yeah, you could look at it from a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Maybe she's projecting her victimization upon you.
Yeah.
To somehow, achieve some level of control over your relationship, or maybe she's not being abused, is just telling you she's being abused.
That's what I'm getting at.
Just for the sake of justifying in her mind why she's having an affair with someone who is 40 years younger than she is.
I tried to explain to her how it made me feel when she talked about my weight. I know I'm losing a ton of weight. I don't need to be shamed for it, though. Now, just the other day, I told her I don't think she's really going to divorce her husband. And at first, she just denied it over and over again. Then when I started telling her that her talking about my weight makes me feel uncomfortable, she says, yeah, you're right. I was never going to move in with you. I want to live alone. Dude, she's kooky.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're just dumb for being 20 years old, thinking that this woman is going to give you something that you think you need.
It might just be better to move on and try to find someone maybe your own age or someone closer to it.
There's the age difference thing really gets me, because I guess, at a certain point in your life, like I'm 45 now.
Yeah.
Max 10 years either way. You know what I mean? Like that's, people are adults, over the age of 30, 35. That would be reasonable. But I don't think I could do anything more than that, because once you get to like 15 years, you're totally losing something. It's like a whole nother generation of people.
So my wife and I, there's a 10-year difference. All right, I'm 10 years older.
That's reasonable.
It's a reasonable separation. I agree with you. That if she were, say, 5 to 10 years younger, let's say there was like a 20-year difference.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd have much to talk about.
That's what I'm getting.
Like, there are some times when my wife and I, like, I'll bring up a reference that I think is, very appropriate for the conversation, that she has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Like, for example, I think I brought up something about Gilligan's Island once, and it was a very apt, very appropriate metaphor for whatever we were dealing with at the time. I don't know if it was something about the Howells or Ginger, Mary. It could have been the professor. I don't even remember. But she didn't understand what I was trying to say, because she, I don't think, has ever seen episodes of Gilligan's Island in the way that I have seen and absorbed all the metaphorical, appropriate things about that show.
But she knows what Gilligan's Island was.
Vaguely. I mean, she understands it was a 3-hour tour. They're on an island for years and years, and, they'd never get off. But she didn't understand what I was trying to tell her, because it's a 10-year difference.
Yeah.
That's a lot. More than that is beyond a lot. It's a hell of a lot. 20 years. Okay, so what am I, 57?
Yeah.
I can't imagine being with someone who's 37 or 27.
Yeah,
I'm not ready.
No, because you'd have nothing in common, and frankly, that's kind of creepy. There's a creepy level factor to it, especially at this guy, 20 years old, and she's 62.
Yeah, I don't know. 40 years is a lot.
You're not gonna make it, bro. Like, that's just not gonna work out for you.
Right. I mean, by the time he's 35.
Yeah,
I mean,
she'll be 75.
Yeah, I mean,
77.
She may be in danger of breaking a hip.
She's probably already in danger of breaking a hip now.
Maybe with her osteoporosis. I don't know whether she's taking care of her bone density.
Yeah,
she's taking care of some bone density. If you know what I'm talking about.
You know what, dude? You gotta find somebody. You gotta find somebody at a different life point. If you want to go, you know what? Go with a younger gal. One of them gals who just became eligible for a colonoscopy. Like, that's more your speed
50.
right
50
there.
is a good... Yeah,
45. It's been lowered to 45
right, absolutely,
now. Yeah. You gotta find
that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to be going to gambling night over at Wingate to go on a date. You know what I mean? We're playing pinochle. That means two things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, I think my first colonoscopy brought Jenny and I together.
Well, there you go.
I think it made us closer.
Yeah, you cleaned out. You got rid of all the excess waste.
Oh, I sure did,
and you started anew.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's 6:57 with Bax and Nagle at Rock 102.
When will the snow start?
When will it end?
Rock. And now, it's time for Bax's View from the Couch on Rock 102.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Listen, I don't mean to bore you so soon into the new year, but I think we just have to take a minute to talk about the farcical sham that has become college football. Sure, I can handle something like the Cheez-It Bowl between Tennessee and Iowa with a Cheez-It mascot. I can even handle the winning coach getting a bucket of delicious Cheez-Its dumped on his head. It's all good for business. After all, Cheez-Its are delicious. They're everything a guy can possibly want in a salty, cheesy cracker. Possibly more. But that's not where I got the problem. Of the 40-some-odd college football bowl games that were played over the last few weeks, more than 378 players opted out of playing in those games. Some players chose to sit out based upon how it might affect their position in the NFL draft. Others were attempting to enter into the transfer protocol. In either case, you had some teams attempting to field a team with as many as 20 to 25 players choosing not to participate. Now, next Monday is the CFP National Championship game between number 1 Michigan and number 2 Washington. Next year, the college football playoffs will be expanding from 4 teams to 12, meaning that you'll now have 6 high-profile games, all running the risk of having a significant number of players choosing not to play for a national title. Folks, that's not only unfair to the fans, the sponsors, the boosters, the alumni, the coaches, and the colleges and universities involved. It's also unfair to the kids that do want to play in the Cheez-It Bowl, where 25 players sat out, or the Capital One Orange Bowl, which had 38 players opting not to play. If bowl season is seen as nothing more but an optional interruption, then what's the point of even having it? What's it going to take? New rule changes? Paychecks? Lawsuits? Listen, I love the game of college football, but like I said, I only like it when teams are willing to play them. Otherwise, it's nothing more but a pointless money grab. And I'll tell you what, if I'm the chief operating officer of the entire Cheez-It Cracker empire, I'd be on the phone with my stable of money-grubbing attorneys demanding a refund, because I just think I got ripped off. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Where would you go for a snow thrower? Personally, I would go to Rocky's. They got Aaron's, the king of snow, Ego, the battery-powered badass, plus Craftsman. Rocky's Ace Hardware is Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm, and Rocky's is where you want to go for a good snow thrower. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 7:10, and Van Halen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's going to be sunny with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It's 20 right now in downtown Springfield. Did you stay up and watch the ball drop?
Dude, let me tell you what I did on New Year's Eve. You're not going to believe this.
All right.
Okay, first of all, there was a football game on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. Green Bay, Minnesota. Green Bay wins the game. Great performance. I was in bed by 9:30. Didn't watch the second half and out like a light.
Yeah, I did.
There were no balls being dropped. There was no. I can't watch a second of Ryan Seacrest. I can barely sit there and watch Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper get drunk. I just can't. It doesn't do anything for me.
Did you see they brought back the alcohol on New Year's?
Yeah, that's good.
I saw a
the
whole
best
article about that because Don Lemon doesn't work for CNN anymore, and he's not getting loose with the lips, if you know what I'm saying. That means two things with Don Lemon, but loose with the lips with his drunkenness on TV. But Anderson Cooper, he brought that right back.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, that Lemon guy is gone now? Now we can enjoy our cocktails.
Yeah, that's right. So he and Andy were enjoying the cocktails and having a little dainty, fruity drinks at night, and nothing wrong with that.
I didn't have any plans. I didn't plan on doing anything. My oldest daughter wound up having an opportunity to go to New York City, not to Times Square, but in the city, and had a much better time than she would have if she had stayed at home with me.
Sure.
And then my youngest daughter, originally I was going to go, like, maybe we should go up see the fireworks in Northampton, because at 6 o'clock at night, they light off fireworks from the top of that parking garage or one of those buildings or something.
Right.
And then you can see them if you sit up on top of the hill where the old hospital was.
Yeah.
But we decided not to do that. She wanted to have a friend over So she has a friend over, which is fine by me because that's just less entertaining I have to do on a night that I never really had any inkling to be out on a New Year's.
I can't remember. I can't say I was never out on a New Year's. Of course, I was. I went out many, many years in a row. I can't remember the last time I was out for New Year's. Because oftentimes, it's just us alone. We've had friends over. Like they spent the night on the couch or whatever, and that was fine. But it doesn't. You know what? January 1st feels just like December 31st to me.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot to me.
No, it's not really. I mean, you kind of start thinking like, hey, maybe I should do this next year instead of not doing this next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't make resolutions. I don't really do that.
No,
I don't do any of the things that you're supposed to do on New Year's.
In fact, I don't. I set goals for myself, but I don't do them on the 1st. Like I've already have goals that are ongoing.
Sure.
Right now, but I did before Christmas finish 52 straight weeks on that Peloton.
Really?
Yeah,
that's great.
So now I'm on week 54.
No,
which is
you're on week 1.
Well, how do you do that?
Well, because it's a whole brand new year.
No,
brand new you.
No. That's not the way they mark your challenges and your awards on Peloton.
Really?
Yeah. It's.
Don't you feel kind of I don't know, cheated? It's a brand new year. It's a brand new you.
No, it's still improving me. That's how I like to look at it.
Yeah,
you got to look at it the way a life coach would. Mm-hmm. You can't look at it as some amateur who wants to start everything over on January 1st.
See, because I've done that. I've said, well, this is the year. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go every week. I'm going to get pumped up. I'm going to be ripped. I'll be cut like a diamond. And then after 3 days, I'm like,
This is the worst time to go to the gym.
Everybody's at the gym.
And it's going to be packed in there.
Yeah.
Anybody who got a brand new gym membership, go ahead. Go there, and you realize how miserable you're going to be with all those other people sitting around there.
The time to go is February 1st. By that point, you've cleared out all the suckers. I mean, there may be some people that will stick to it, but even then, by March, they're out. You start in February, all of a sudden, now you're not waiting for machines. You're not standing in line.
Yeah. I mean, I started doing it last year. I had bought the bike in May of 2022 and didn't really start using it until December of 2022 because I started feeling like I wasn't, I feel like icky. You feel icky because you eat a bunch of crap and you kind of want to be different. Like, I don't want to live that way. So I started that journey, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's my Peloton journey. That's like one of those douchey things that you hear people say.
You mean the bike that stays in your house and doesn't move forward? Yeah, that's a hell of a journey.
So I set other goals for myself. Like this year, my goal is to ride in that ride to remember. Like I want to actually get an actual bike and complete that because I can do 50 miles on the Peloton, but you're not going anywhere. You're not seeing anything. Don't you want to be out?
Well, you're seeing that one lady that's helping to motivate you.
One more juicy push, love. One more.
I don't like the term "juicy push" when it comes to exercise. That sounds to me like I'm going to need a full change of clothing by the end of this.
Wait till you have a hot British broad saying that to you, who's looking fine in her little outfit.
Yeah, I don't think that would be enough.
You don't think that's enough for you?
No, I don't. I don't.
So anyway, I really did. I didn't have any plans. I wasn't planning on doing anything. And my kid had a friend over, so I'm just sitting on the couch, not doing anything. I fall asleep by 9.
See, I knew that was going to happen for me because earlier in the day, I drove my daughter to Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So I drove her to Rhode Island, dropped her off, and turned around, drove all the way back.
She has no connection to Rhode Island. You just dropped her off there.
Yeah, she wanted to go, and I said, okay, well, here's a state line.
Yeah, you're right here, right over on 146. Sorry, you got to turn around and go home now. It was nice seeing you this year.
Yeah, let me know if you make it home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, I was driving for 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
it was like
that's not
no, but it's enough to tire you out. It's like when you get back home after you don't want to do anything.
I know. I was reorganizing some stuff around the house most of the day. I didn't really feel like doing anything either. So I I fall asleep on the couch, and then I'm woken up at 10:30 by my daughter and her friend, which this was great too, by the way. When kids start the sentence with, "We have something that might sound a little shady to ask you."
Oh, boy.
And I said, "Well, you have the floor. By all means,
Yeah,
go ahead, because I really want to know what this is about." And like, can we go for a walk? And I go, "What? What do you mean a walk?
Like outside the house?"
I said, "Where?" I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Where are you going at 10:30 at night? Where would you go? Where would two 12-year-olds go at 10:30 at night?
I don't know.
And just take a walk down the town. Well, it's like 1.5 miles away. I'm like, nice try, but you're not getting out of the house. You're not walking away from this house at 10:30 at night.
And you don't want your kids walking in a street in a town with no sidewalks on New Year's Eve.
We have sidewalks.
On what, 4 of your streets? 4 of the 10 streets in the entire town?
The main road has a sidewalk that stretches all the way from the school to the center of town.
Even still,
Exactly.
There's too many drunken morons out there.
That's it. That was my point. I'm like, not worried about being kidnapped or anything, but the drunk drivers are really the danger out there at night. But I'm like, no. What are you, out of your mind? You're not going outside at 10:30, and I'm like, good try though. Good try. 10:30 at night.
I have to applaud your moxie, kid, but nope, you're staying inside the house.
And so then I kind of fell back asleep a little bit after that, but then I was up at 11:45 waiting for the ball and watching Ryan Seacrest make a complete jerk out of himself. I don't understand. I know I should be happy for other successes, but I don't see the appeal at this guy. I don't see why he's going to be the new versatile host of everything.
He's the new Dick Clark. For a while, and when we were young, Dick Clark was the producer of everything.
Was Dick a douche too?
I don't know if Dick was a douche. I mean, Dick had his moments, but Dick would find himself in all kinds of spots on television. Not just the New Year's Rockin' Eve, but also the $10,000 Pyramid, and then you still had American Bandstand. Plus, he had there was the follow-ups, bleeps, and blunders. He was involved in that. He was involved in everything.
Yeah, it was.
And now Seacrest has basically aped his entire career, taking over for like the entire empire.
I don't understand the appeal of this guy being the spokesperson for all that stuff.
I agree. But yet he is, and people watch it.
Yeah.
And people are mesmerized by him.
I turned around to my kid and I said, this guy shouldn't be out past 10:30 at night. He should be in bed just like everybody else.
I don't know. That's one of those things that always confounds me. Like, what is the appeal with this guy? What is he doing that's so special?
I don't know. We watched the thing, and then that was it. That everybody goes to bed at that point. And that was the end of the night. There was nothing special or anything about it.
Well, I mean, like in years past, I would cook a big meal or something like that. Like I didn't even feel like doing that this time.
I thought about that, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, like the last couple of years, I make like a prime rib. I'm not doing that. First of all, the price of prime rib is ridiculous, and then secondly, I've been on the road for a half the day. I don't want to do that.
I did a prime rib for Christmas on the smoker.
And
game changer, dude. I'll never cook another roast in the oven again as long as I have a smoker available, because it was so good.
How big was the roast?
It was 10 pounds.
How much you pay?
It wasn't that bad. It was probably
$100.
Yeah, about around there.
All right.
Not bad.
I don't know, man. I just with the way prices are right now, I'm too cheap. I'm too lazy. I'm too old to be doing all the things that I used to do when I was young and stupid.
Yeah. Like what?
Like getting drunk and going to parties, and then leaving one party to go to a party that's later at night, and then hanging out with my no good friends.
And the other thing that turns me off from going out is all the drunk people that are out on the road. Like, yeah, there's things to do on New Year's Eve. There's plenty of stuff. But do you really want to be out driving home sober? waiting for some drunk to come hit you.
You know what age has done to me? This is really kind of a weird type of thing because I used to be that guy.
Going out
And having a couple and
ripping it up till midnight.
Yes, that used to be what I would do. That was like part of my pastiche. I don't like hanging out with drunk people anymore. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that's hanging out with that guy. I feel like I'm done. If I'm going to have a drink, I may have one, but it's one and done, and that's it.
Oh, see, I brought this bottle of vodka for you, and I had to finish this morning, and I guess you're not into it. So, what am I supposed to do with it? Drink it by myself?
Or you wait until the next time Marty's here. And
oh, yeah, we can have a nice little basket of cheer for the morning radio show.
There you have it.
Well, there you go.
It's 7:23 on Rock 102.
Springfield's classic rock is everywhere.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 7:28. And Alice Cooper with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Dan Brown will give you the forecast, or whoever is over at Western Mass News today. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. I totally get it. So I've been away for a week, so I don't know what's going on.
You didn't miss anything.
I didn't. That's what I hear. I didn't. It didn't sound like there was much going on around the building. Like everybody was gone.
You missed me having the stomach flu. That was disgusting.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm sorry I wasn't a part of that.
No, it came on like a storm, and then left like a lamb. Or how's that? It's like March. What is it? In like a lion, out like a lamb.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was in like a lion who then stabbed another lion. And
now is this? It was like
a sword fight in my stomach, and and then that was it.
So this is like something was going around the house, or what?
Yeah. I guess we all got a little turn of it. I don't know.
Nothing worse than the puke bug. Was the puke bug?
Yeah.
Puking?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, it was not fun, and I'm glad. I'm glad I left that last year.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Not carry that into the new year.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being sick around the holidays.
No,
Jesus wouldn't have wanted it.
No,
that way.
he would have not. You don't think any one of them people back in the Jesus days, had some sort of like stomach flu?
I'm sure they did
around the time of the birth of the baby Jesus.
Of course,
one of the wise men. You think maybe the wise men didn't get there until the 6th?
Because one of them was like suffering from dysentery or something like that.
Yeah, some sort of disease.
Yeah,
and all they had was myrrh. Well, what are you going to do with myrrh?
Not going to do very much.
You can't heal diseases with this. What is that anyway? Is it like a scent?
No, myrrh is a This kind of shows you. Yeah, I mean, listen. There are some things that are good for kids as gifts, and some things that just make no sense.
Right.
Myrrh makes no sense. Myrrh is a type of gum that is used in preserving bodies after funerals. So, is that something you want to give to a kid? Myrrh. I mean, they use it in like death rituals.
Talk about setting a kid up for
no
disaster.
Kidding. No kidding. I mean, at least maybe some toys or something.
Yeah, you're gonna need this about 33 years from now.
I mean, wouldn't it? I mean, the whole Bible would have been so different had the baby Jesus received gold, frankincense, and rock'em sock'em robots. That would have been. That's a good gift for a kid.
He was too young to have rock'em sock'em robots.
He would have grown into it.
You know what? A chariot power wheels. One that looked just like how they did all that stuff
with Power Wheels. Yeah, right. Yeah, that would have been awesome, but not the case.
Not the case. And here we are with myrrh.
Rock'em sock'em robots would have had a whole section in the Bible.
I can't believe that's what that is. Myrrh.
Yeah, look it up. That's what it is. It's like a gum. It's like a sticky substance you would use to prepare bodies for funerals.
Wait, and the weirdest thing was it wasn't on the registry.
No, we would never put. You would never put that on a registry, even for like a bridal registry.
Yeah,
we need new sheets. We need some flatware, and oh, by the way, we're really looking for some myrrh.
Yeah, no, nobody said that. They were like, listen. We didn't say myrrh. Well, the one thing we still had on there was that crank swing. You don't think baby Jesus was in a crank swing?
Yeah.
Try to keep him busy while Mary's off doing her thing? What was her thing?
Absolving sins.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I'm the chosen one.
It's 7:32 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Now,
7:34 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
thank you, Bax.
You're welcome, Steve.
City leaders in Springfield called for a year of working together while recognizing the diversity that most said makes the city great during Monday's inauguration ceremonies. Dom Dom was sworn into his record sixth term with 2 new and 11 incumbent city councilors and on a New Year's Day inauguration at Springfield Symphony Hall. The event was followed by the city council officially convening to officially elect Michael Fenton as president and Melvin Edwards as vice president. Unlike the informal vote taken 2 weeks ago, which sparked a debate and discord, the discussion was quick and cordial, and the proposals passed 12-0 with one member absent. After being sworn in by retired Judge Mary Hurley, who joked that she taught Sarno everything he knows since he worked as her aide while she served as the city's mayor from 1989 to 1992. Sarno thanked his wife, 2 daughters, and other family members, city councilors, his staff, friends, and supporters. He dedicated this term to his parents, Clara and Alfonso, who died in 2018 and 2020.
Excuse me.
What?
No mention of the Bax and Nagle show?
Yeah, I don't know. What was that all about?
I mean, the mayor can do whatever the hell he wants, but I mean, nothing.
Yeah, I thought this guy had a little bit more integrity to mention the 2 people that carry him through each election.
I know some mayoral candidates would have mentioned us by name.
Yeah, you know what? He already got the job now. He doesn't care about us anymore. That's what it is. Those 2 knuckleheads over there at 102, whatever.
Who needs them now?
Yeah.
I'm at 6 terms.
Yeah, we're 6th term. I'm going to go to the full term, if you know what I'm saying. We're going to get out of this. The event was followed by the city council official convening to officially elect Michael Fenton as president. I already read that part. Well, Sarno talked about many achievements that his administration has made over the past 16 years. He said there is much more to do in his next term, and he is energetic and ready to get to work. And he goes on to talk about all the things that he wants to do and yada, yada, yada. They had some cake, and that was the end of it.
Did he have a ball? Was there a mayoral ball?
Doesn't sound like there was a mayoral ball. It just sounds like there was an inauguration, and that's it.
Well, you got to have inaugural balls.
I don't think I've ever heard of the Springfield mayoral ball. Have they ever had one?
When Judy Matt was in here last time,
Yeah.
didn't she say something about the balls?
I think she was talking about the Bright Knights ball, but I don't think there was a...
Thought there was a ball.
I don't know. I was too busy stuffing my face with the ribs that Judy Matt brought in here to pay attention to whether there was balls going on.
I put my rib down long enough to hear her talk about balls.
The city's most violent year in recent history began on New Year's Day. Justino Biggio was shot in the doorway of an apartment on Allen Street. He was 37 years old. Police believe Biggio was the antagonist in the standoff when 2 men pulled guns on each other during a domestic dispute. Biggio was killed. Investigators have not publicly named Biggio's alleged killer because it remains under investigation a year later as a justifiable homicide. It was not, police believe, your average murder. But nothing was average about the city's number of homicides in 2023, ending with an all-time high of 31 by December 4th.
Wow.
On that day, Billy Spivey Jr., 44, was killed in a drive-by shooting outside of 19 Albemarle Street. No arrests have been made in connection with that shooting, but detectives have made 16 in connection with the city's burst of homicides this year, or 2023. Investigators and city officials show frustration when asked why 2023 saw so many homicides. Why? I've said repeatedly, I just don't have an answer as to why, except that far too many people have guns these days. People just like to shoot people. My job is to solve murders. The starting points are way, way before I get there. That's according to Captain Trent Duda, who is working
All the
all
Duda
the Duda
day.
day. By comparison, Boston had 33 homicides.
Wait a minute. We were just under Boston?
Yeah. 2 under Boston. You're talking about how many millions of people live in the city of Boston?
Quite a few.
2-3 million people?
Well, in the city, I think it's less than 1 million in Boston proper.
Right.
But nevertheless,
But
that's
still.
like 3 or 4 or 5 times bigger than Springfield.
Yeah. Gun violence in the city of Holmes 2023 claimed the lives of 28 men, 2 women, and a child. Just one of the city's homicides was an alleged stabbing. on Euclid Avenue when a 49-year-old Daniel Medina was killed by roommate Robert Woods. Woods was arrested July 27th and charged with murder. The median age of the dead is 33. The oldest victim was Elias Cruz at 56, killed as he allegedly tried to rob a city shop owner arriving home on Commonwealth Avenue on July 7th. His killer, who defended himself and shot Cruz with his own gun, has not been identified. That has also been tentatively ruled as a justifiable homicide by police pending formal ruling by the Hamden DA's office. So really, there was only one of those that was supposedly justifiable, being a home invasion type of situation.
But when you got 31, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty eye-opening when you have that high of a percentage versus what a city of Boston would have.
So here's the problem, and in all seriousness, because we have heard time and time again from Springfield police, certain politicians in Springfield who will remain unnamed, that the problem they have is a lot of people being released from jail, committing greater, worse crimes, and that's why the inflated murder numbers. But Boston has the same amount of numbers and are under the same laws as Springfield.
Yeah.
The same laws that govern bail and recidivism and on all of these things. I mean, Boston has the same stuff.
It's a statewide thing. So there are people probably being let out in Boston that are repeat offenders, but it doesn't seem to have the same oomph that it does around here with the people getting released and committing offenses again.
I just don't understand why the numbers in Springfield are equal to the numbers in Boston. Yeah. Proportionally speaking, that's a hell of a lot.
That's a pretty big percentage of the homicides versus what Boston is dealing with. I don't know. Well, it's a mystery, Bax.
Yeah, sure is, Steve. I don't have answers.
I wish I had all the answers.
I got no answers.
A 16-year-old who was flying alone for the first time boarded the wrong Frontier Airlines flight and wound up in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Ah, boy.
I guess if you're going to go somewhere.
Where was he supposed to go?
Cleveland.
He made a better choice.
The airline said in a statement to the media the teen had intended to fly from Tampa to Cleveland on December 22nd. The confusion was understandable. Both flights took off from the same gate, with the flight to Puerto Rico taking off first. Frontier has extended its sincere apologies to the family for the error. Jennifer De La Cruz, Frontier Director of Corporate Communications, said in a statement. Ryan Luz, his name is Luz, the father of the 16-year-old Logan, said his son was nervous before his flight by himself to spend Christmas with his mother, even though he and his current wife tried to talk him through the procedures. Logan Luz told his father that by the time he got to the gate, they were already boarding. Ryan Luz said also said the crew on the flight to Puerto Rico didn't scan his son's boarding pass. Logan said they just glanced at it and said, "Yep, you're on this flight," and then he boarded. He said they knew something had gone wrong when the teen's mother called to say he had boarded his flight at 8:30 p.m., which was way too early. Mm-hmm. Ryan Luz told CNN the family realized he had gotten on the wrong plane at the right gate when his 9-year-old son noticed that a flight to Puerto Rico was scheduled to leave from that gate around that time. The family tried to warn the teen he was on the wrong plane, but their calls to him went to voicemail. Ryan Luz said they called the airlines to warn him his son was on the wrong plane, and Frontier confirmed that he was on the wrong flight and they'd look out for him. When Logan Luz eventually landed in Puerto Rico, he texted his family about the error. Frontier Airlines said Logan Luz was immediately flown back to Tampa on the same aircraft and accommodated on a flight to Cleveland the following day. You could have been in Cleveland in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And now you got to wait a whole damn day because you screwed up.
Listen, I've been to Cleveland. And, a lot of what you hear about Cleveland is partially true. But Cleveland in January, the average temperature is about 35 degrees. The average temperature in San Juan, Puerto Rico, 84. Loads more beachfront, great scenery, lots to do. In Cleveland, you know what they got? They got a great lake. And it's polluted.
And you can't swim in it.
And it used to be set on fire. That's the kind of town you're talking about.
But you got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right nearby.
Please.
This is a failure in so many different aspects of flying. Not only did they not scan the boarding pass, but when was the last time you flew? When was the last time you went on a flight?
It was over the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a full flight?
It was a full flight. Yeah.
Most of the flights now are full because they
overbook all these flights.
They overbook them, and they've changed a lot of the schedules. So, people who used to fly out of Bradley direct now can't fly direct. They're flying to a different hub, or most of the other people are. So a lot of these flights are full when they go out.
Yeah.
They have to account for every person on the thing. Now, I don't know how the full was from this city to from Tampa to Puerto Rico, but nobody does a head count. That's what they're doing when they're walking down the aisles. They're making sure that they got 54 people. This is 54 people scanned in. This is how many people got. The
FAA requires flights to keep track of every individual on the plane.
Right.
In case something terrible goes on, you've got the list of everybody who's on the plane.
I talked about this last year about when we were coming back from Hilton Head out of Savannah. And they couldn't take off because there was an extra person on the plane. Like, they realized, wait a minute, we only counted X amount of people for seats.
Yeah.
It turns out it was a lady who was supposed to have the kid in her lap just used the seat next to her to put the thing, so they didn't count.
Right.
They weren't counting that person as a they were counting the person as a ticketed passenger, but they weren't. They were just a carry-on.
Then you stow the child in the overhead compartment or in the seat below.
You ever wonder about the safety of that one? Everybody else is put your seatbelts on, make sure your tray table's in the upright position, but make sure that fragile baby is sitting right on your lap in case we crash into something. The baby will safely float through the air.
Yeah, because your arm should certainly be able to hold that baby in place in case of a water landing.
I never understood that whole lap child.
Yeah, but would you charge a 2-year-old the same price as a full ticket?
But that's the point, But I don't. Just the safety feature alone.
Oh, I know.
When you talk about all the other safety features on an airplane, the one thing you can do is carry a child in your lap that's unrestrained in case. Like I said, they float through the air like little angels.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They're projectiles.
Oh, it's my new airbag. Think about it. Think about how
I know.
inherently dangerous that is.
Of course it is.
But hey, it's a free ticket.
That's basically it.
These little stowaways ruining it for everybody. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today. Going to be sunny with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It's 20 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Mattress.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:54 and Rush with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Your forecast today going to be looking like sunny with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It is 19 right now in downtown Springfield. Now, what?
No, I got nothing.
Oh, I got something. The Friday night, I go out. A friend invited me over to his house to have a little, holiday party. I guess, if you will. And he really nice house, and he takes me downstairs and he shows me this bar that he built. Kind of.
Is this the part where he ties you up and it takes like a search party to get you out of the basement?
I was hoping that was going to happen, but that didn't happen. But it was great night. Lots of great people there. Nice conversations. Probably stuck right there for about probably 3.5, 4 hours or so.
That's kind of overstaying your welcome, don't you think?
No, actually, there was quite a few people there.
Oh, okay.
It was a good time. It was a good time. But when he was showing me this basement, it's an older house, so the ceilings are pretty low when you get to the basement part.
Right.
And then he had warned me, "You're a tall guy," because he's a tall guy.
He's a tall guy.
And then I go downstairs, and he's like, "Watch your head on the bulkhead thing, up above."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." So then when I go upstairs and then I come back downstairs, and as soon as I come back downstairs, whack! Here we go. I hit my head right against the very thing that he told me to watch. For. It didn't hurt. I didn't hit it that hard. I really just kind of scraped it.
Yeah.
So then I start talking to this group of people, and because they had all seen me just do that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, this one guy goes, "Oh my God!" And he looks at my head. My head's bleeding.
Yeah.
So then I had to get like paper towels and then like, put the paper towel to try to stop the bleeding from happening.
Uh-huh.
And head wounds are like, they bleed a lot even though you didn't do anything to it.
You've knocked that coconut around in the past quite a lot, head wound Harry.
Well, I feel like Tommy Boy. Son of a, that's gonna leave a mark. Every time I do that, that's what I act like. But here I am, like holding my hand to my head. It's like one of the, then I go upstairs to try to like clean this up. And luckily, there was this woman there who was, she announces herself that she's a PA.
Okay.
At a hospital, and she can help, which is great. Well, actually, she didn't even say she can help. She just started helping like a first responder would. Like,
of course.
Let's take a look at that thing, and cleaned it up for me, and had me put a compress on it, and things like that. And all I said was, you know what? All I can think of right now is Dana Carvey as Head Wound Harry.
That's what I call it, Head Wound Harry.
And then she's like, I remember that.
When
and
the dog jumps on his lap, starts licking
like,
his head.
Oh, he must smell my dog. When he lays, he's like, oh, I'm feeling a little lightheaded, and he lays down on the couch next to the cocktail sauce and accidentally dips the head into the cocktail sauce. Like that's kind of how I felt like. I was, and I'm like, I really shouldn't. I really should pay more attention to what I'm doing here.
But especially since you were, given those directions ahead of time.
Yeah,
watch your head.
Well, you can tell me that. I used to hit my head all the time. My late wife had we had a kitchen. We had our kitchen redone.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, above the trash can was now a cabinet, and without fail, at least once a week, I would go to throw something in the trash can, forget that the cabinet was there. I have little dents.
Yeah.
All up. And if you really like kind of looked at my bald head, you'd see a lot of little dents in there from me being a dumbass by not paying attention to what I'm doing. And I told you this.
Yeah.
I'm going to die of something stupid.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably going to be something like that.
Well, hopefully there'll always be a good story to tell. He died, but you're not going to believe what happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the legacy I want to leave. At least have a good you effed up story as your demise.
As long as people start laughing at the ridiculousness of your own death, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. I didn't want to die from being too big. You know what I mean? Being too big of a guy.
You don't want a depressing death story.
Yeah, I don't want to die because I ate too many ding-dongs. That means two things.
It's 7:59 at Rock 102.
Tickets are scanned up. And now it's time for Bax's View from the Couch on Rock 102.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, listen. I've been away for a while, enjoying myself on a much-needed vacation, far away from the bright lights of regional notoriety. And while there are many sports stories to have chosen this morning, such as the trade that sent Chris Sale to the Braves for Vaughn Grissom, or perhaps the fact that the Celtics are on a 6-game winning streak, or perhaps I could have spent a moment or two talking about the first 20 minutes of that god-awful Patriots game from Sunday against Buffalo. Instead, I have chosen to focus my attention on something completely different. Today, I would like to focus on the Detroit Pistons, the very worst team in the NBA. On Saturday, the Pistons ended the longest losing streak in NBA history by beating the Toronto Raptors 129-127, thereby ending their record-setting losing streak at 28 games. And of course, that came just one game after almost beating the Celtics about a week ago last Monday, where they eventually lost 128-122. Now, you might wonder what it must feel like to lose 28 games in a row in today's NBA. And I'm not so sure I've got an answer for that, other than to share my own background with brief periods of professional futility. But I will spare you that sort of nightmarish narrative. What I can tell you is it probably didn't feel too good, but in winning a game on Saturday and ending the longest losing streak in NBA history, you might think this would spark a fire under their butt cheeks and lead them to winning more than just one game in a row. Well, sadly, the Pistons are already off to their next losing streak, having gotten blown out by the Houston Rockets yesterday, 136-113. Now, that's the Pistons team, and I love. A team that doesn't get greedy, a team that doesn't let the relief of victory change what they do. They're a team that's out to give you some of the worst basketball you've ever seen, provided at a level of inferiority at historic levels. The only question now is, how long is this losing streak going to go? They're certainly not going to face the Celtics again until March 18th, so theoretically they could have lost another 35 games in a row by then. Now that would be something to really start talking about. Let's just hope they don't show any level of improvement until then, because another losing streak is all any of us really want to see. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, some people wait until after the big storm, the first big storm, to find out they need things like a bag of ice melt or a new snow shovel. Some people go to Rocky's, so when the storm hits, they're ready. What kind of person you gonna be? Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm? That's Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:12 and Sticks with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be sunny today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It's 19 right now in downtown Springfield. There's supposed to be some snow this weekend. And I was looking at Dave Hayes, the weather nut, because he seems to be a tad more accurate than some of the other forecasts.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at maybe 3 to 5 inches.
All
But
right.
It could be more than that, depending on, obviously we won't know until this isn't supposed to start until Saturday night, Sunday morning.
See, if it's 3 to 5, I'm going to lean towards the 3.
Yeah.
I prefer 3 over 5. Mathematically, it just works out better for me.
Yeah.
Because what I like to do, if it's only 3 inches, is not shovel the driveway, but just literally just drive over it and wait for nature to take its course for the thaw.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do.
But we could see some significant weather going on.
Yeah, like that.
Things you got to look out for. Deep fake videos. That's because of this AI thing.
Fake or throat?
No, those you can still find and are perfectly legitimate
Oh, okay.
on any number of different adult websites.
Gotcha.
But I'm talking about deep fake videos. To spot a deep fake video, look out for distorted images, speech that does not match the movement of the speaker's lips, and claims that are too good to be true. Tech experts offered these tips as they called for more education to detect fake videos made using AI after several deepfakes surfaced in December that involved public figures like Prime Minister Lee Leung of, I don't know where that was, of Singapore. Prime Minister Lee on December 29th warned the public in a Facebook post not to respond to a scam video on investments or giveaways after a deepfake video of him purportedly promoting an investment service. It is not known who was involved in the misinformation campaign. Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, whose appearance has also been used to promote investment scams, alerted the public on December 11th of deepfake posts spreading misinformation that the authorities were planning a circuit breaker amid a spike in COVID-19 cases. The likeness of Miss Ho Ching, PM Lee's wife and former Temasek chief executive, was also manipulated by fraudsters in another investment video that surfaced in December. The video circulated as an advertisement on YouTube, which plays before users can view the videos they have selected. It's not known who uploaded the false ad. A spokesman for Google, which runs YouTube, said it was taken down and flagged and terminated the associated channel. Which is all good and fine, but that just means that there really is no way to police these things until it's brought to somebody's attention, where you get these things being rolled out, and then somebody says, "Hey, YouTube, this is fake," and how far is it spread, and how many people got scammed before you realize?
Well,
hey,
that's kind of the problem with things like social media, YouTube. There's so much content there that they can't possibly police everything that goes on. So if you see something that you have to question, it's really okay for you to just hit a couple of keystrokes to complain and say there's something wrong here.
There's something very wrong here.
Because a lot of people will just kind of bypass it and not even think twice about it. But if you complain about it, if you see something, say something. Even YouTube, you will take that stuff seriously, but they can't possibly
police it all.
It's the amount of content that gets posted every hour of every day. Please.
So I saw something like this, I don't know, probably about a month ago, and it was Warren Buffett. and it was Warren Buffett telling people, you want to get in on this Bitcoin thing. And you could tell, like, I'm just watching the video going, he would never say that. He would never say something like that. Warren Buffett doesn't give, like, financial advice to people. Well, he might give it to people that he is in the know, but he's not going to give public financial information telling you to go dump your money into Bitcoin. It just doesn't add up right.
Right.
But you could tell by looking at the video, like I kind of pride myself knowing that I can kind of pick these things apart, going, well, that doesn't even look real. It looks pretty edited, and it looks...
But the average dope out there, it doesn't necessarily pay that close of attention to, the video or, anything that might be suspicious in any way. So if they have Warren Buffett telling you to drop a bunch of money into Bitcoin, and you don't know any better, I can either think you're just going to do it, or you're going to have to wonder, well, who is that Warren Buffett guy?
Well, and here's the thing. You have an economy that's not doing great right now for the average person. You can say it's doing great for the corporations that are out there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great economy. Yes, not for the rest of us.
Yeah, well, you're taking advantage of every taxpayer who's spending through the nose for just simple things like meat.
Right. And then, but my point being is that there's a lot of people out there that are living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes they can't even they're living 2 paychecks to paychecks because they can't afford to live. When you see a video like that, your poor brain goes, oh man, I could definitely use some extra money, and Warren Buffett said so. So, hey, I'm going to click on that. If it's the same, it's that old adage of if it sounds too good to be true,
it probably
is. And if it was true, then wouldn't everybody be making money?
Everyone is really worried about this AI stuff, and for damn good reason, because it can be, while there are certainly benefits to having it, there are just as many, if not more, problems that arise because at some point, anybody can do nearly anything on this. You can have phone calls being made of voices that seem familiar to you.
Yeah.
And they are not the actual person. It's somebody else doing something else, but, trying to bamboozle you into thinking this is a trusted friend or family member. They have the ability to do that. That's bad. But, on the other hand, I don't think we're really ready for what this can become, because the problem with AI software is it's self-learning. So every time it does something, it learns from that process. It learns from its mistakes, and it learns from the successes that it has. So if you start the program and it runs, it's going to learn. And let's say you start the program and its purpose is to defraud people. It's only going to get more sophisticated as time goes on until someone figures out a way to dismantle the whole thing.
I had a really long conversation with my kids about making sure that, let's say I called or a call came from somebody who sounds exactly like me and says, hey, I'm in trouble, this and this, do something that would compromise something financially or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we kind of put in a plan, which I don't want to reveal what that is, but to verify who is calling you.
Yeah.
If you get a call that somebody, even from the same number that looks like me, and something crazy is being said, or something outrageous, like this is an emergency kind of thing, there's steps you need to take in order to verify that this is really true.
And I'm not saying that making some sort of plan isn't a good thing. I think it is.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter how good of a plan or a system you think you have. These scammers are like 4 or 5 steps ahead of everybody.
Of course not. But you still have to take steps in order to try to at least prevent yourself from getting, screwed over.
I agree. Yeah. But the unfortunate part about it is they're way ahead of the rest of us. And a lot of and this is the other part of it. A lot of people are just in a great sense of denial by saying, I'm too smart. I'm too dialed in to fall victim to any of this stuff.
No,
you're not.
You're not.
You're absolutely. Some of the smartest people I know can be easily manipulated into doing things they wouldn't normally do based on things that are manipulating your trust.
And even myself, who said I pride myself on trying to like spot these things. That doesn't mean that I'm never going to be taken advantage of something.
No, but at least you're looking for it.
Yeah, you have to question everything that you see, and even news, even just regular news. If you see something, and go, wow, that person did that, and then you kind of do a little research and go, that never really happened. That was just somebody trying to change your opinion about the other person.
Well, that would never happen here in the Springfield area.
Actually, that happens all over the country and the world to do it. But, be careful. Be vigilant.
It's 8:22 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. Oh, God. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:29 in Nirvana with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown will give you the forecast because I'm just finishing up enjoying that Nirvana song.
Yeah, no, I know. I totally understand why. It is a bona fide classic.
It's a toe-tapping ditty.
What do we got going on for the rest of the week? I assume we're talking to Zolak on Thursday?
Yeah, you know what? I was out last Thursday, so I didn't get a chance to call Zolak.
Oh,
but
yes.
There is one more game left of the season, right? Happening next weekend?
Yes.
Which I'd be like, do we really need another one of these? But apparently we do.
Listen, when you commit to that many games in a season, you actually have to play that many games in a season.
I couldn't believe they actually won on the 24th.
It was so long ago, I barely remember it.
But then in true fashion, they did.
And there was the debacle of Sunday against the Bills.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe Zolak will have some insight. Maybe he'll have some things that they're working on over there, like for their New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, how about to not go through another year of losing football games?
Hey, Bill, what are you going to do as for a New Year's resolution? Learn to play.
At least play better in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Play actual football.
All right, so Zolak coming up on Thursday, so you get that to look forward to.
With our hands.
We got news next to Rock 102.
Now, here's your Western Mass News First Warning.
8:33 with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. The mayor got inaugurated yesterday in Springfield.
How about that?
Mayor Dom got sworn in. I got sworn in again.
6 times.
You know what you never do? Swear at me.
Oh, that would
I
be
can
a bitch.
swear. I can sworn all day long.
Yeah, but you never want to swear directly at him.
No, when I do a push-up, the whole earth moves downward. You ever see that happen?
No, I've never seen that happen.
I took 2 stones one time.
Mm-hmm.
Killed 1 bird.
You really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like killing 2 birds with 1 stone?
Whatever. I did the thing
because you shouldn't need 2 stones to kill 1 bird.
Yeah.
1 stone, a whole full flock. I would agree with.
Well, they separated midair when the shrapnel hit the other bird. It was horrible. You don't want to see that kind of thing happen.
I see.
But big inauguration day. They got the city councilors and tea was served, and they all ate cake and they went home. There was no big ball. There was no big to-do.
There should be a big to-do. I mean, 6 terms. That's a hell of a lot.
I wasn't. There was no mayoral ball. I wasn't aware of anything like that.
I thought that Judy Matt said that they were definitely doing balls.
I think it's just the Bright Night balls.
No, I don't know. I think it was like wall-to-wall balls.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can ask her and she can tell us. Hey, Judy, have you seen any balls around lately?
Were there balls associated with the mayor?
Maybe she'll inform us.
I'm sure she will.
A Massachusetts resident died after being diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease following a hotel stay in New Hampshire. What? Legionnaire? American Legion?
Legionnaire's disease was a thing back in the 70s. And it was like
members of the American Legion would get it?
It was like a Legionnaire's convention. And I don't remember what city it was, but they were all in the same hotel, and I think a bunch of them got sick with this disease.
Well, it's a very severe type of pneumonia can spread through inhaling water droplets of contaminated water. Another individual from Rhode Island was also hospitalized with the disease. The hotel confirmed that both people had stayed at the Mountain View Grand Resort and Spa in Whitefield, New Hampshire, in the fall of 2023. New Hampshire health officials have not released any other details about either case associated with the Mountain View. An investigation is ongoing to identify a possible source of exposure. Sounds like a pretty nasty disease.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, I would imagine you don't want that at all.
No.
That sounds. It sounds like a bad stay at a hotel, doesn't it?
It does, but you know what? The Mountain View Grand Resort Hotel and Spa, excellent Yelp ratings. The TripAdvisor, highly recommended. It's a beautiful facility.
I'm sure they'll have one bad Yelp review.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy who got sick probably not going to be too happy about it. But other than that, it's got oh my God, $314 a night on Expedia to stay at the Mountain View Grand Resort and Spa.
That's a mid-grade bougie place.
It's bougie. It's super bougie.
More than $44,000 worth of Legos meant for sick children were stolen from a Florida warehouse. V for Victory donates toys to children battling cancer. Founder Paul Scott says all of the organization's Legos were taken and now they have to replace them. It's a great program for the kids because it takes something that is all negative for most children, which is going to get chemo or getting a spinal tap or anything like that. It takes something that's 100% negative and makes it into a positive. Scott says the organization started after his son was diagnosed with cancer because we as a family had the means that every time, he had some sort of surgery or something like that we would go to Target afterwards and buy him a Lego set. Mm-hmm. It really changed the mindset of a lot of children and helped families because something that was so negative, we were able to turn that back into a positive. He says the $44,000 worth of Legos would have gone to more than 400 children.
Actually, that's not true.
What?
$440,000 worth of Legos?
Yeah.
That's like 4 Lego sets.
I was going to say, that's like 2. I think you're being a little generous.
Yeah, because you see, they're very expensive.
Our average Lego set is around $100, so I believe that would be about 440 children who are going to be going to go to 440 appointments that won't get Legos. No details on who may have stolen the Legos, but if you'd like to help the organization, you can go to vforvictory.org.
Means there's 440 sets of parents that are going to accidentally step on the Legos that are underneath the couch.
What do you mean there's no details on who stole the Legos? Where were the Legos when you had them? What happened between the time you realized the Legos were gone? It seems a little shady, doesn't it?
It's a little. I got a lot of questions.
Or unless these national news places are just like the 22 News that don't follow up on details and things like that.
You do realize that the kinds of journalists that are at like 22 News and Western Mass News are the same ones that go and get jobs in places like this after they leave Springfield?
What was the one I was sent the other day from 22 News? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Springfield Police Recruitment. Become on of Springfield's finest. It tells you police officer open houses at the 6 p.m. January 8th on Page Boulevard in Springfield.
Right.
Become on of Springfield's finest. Really?
Well, I bet the boys in blue didn't expect that.
Oh, blue, little boy in blue. He needed the money.
What was the other one you posted right before I went on vacation about a shark attack?
Oh, it was the shark attack.
Yeah, well,
it says Boston woman dies in shark attack.
That's a hell of an attack.
Well, I didn't realize those things could kill you. We've experienced that before, but I've never had the thing that'll kill you. But then there was another one that I showed you off the air here, and that was from Western Mass News. And it's rather than say indicted, it said inducted. Like they were being inducted
into the Criminal Hall of Fame.
Oh, congratulations for this murder. We haven't seen one of these quite in that style before. Congratulations. You've been inducted into the Murder Criminal Hall of Fame.
In fact, we've just had your bust done in bronze, and everyone gets a free T-shirt from the
Right.
from the gift shop.
Now we're going to have a luncheon at a Marriott out in what town was that? We had your thing out.
Oh, yeah.
Induction ceremony, whatever town, Acton or
Quincy or something like that.
something like that. Yeah, we're going to have an induction ceremony with chicken parmesan and salad.
And you won't be satisfied with either one of them.
Come out to the murder induction ceremony now. Here's more things to scare the crap out of you. An Illinois meat producer is recalling nearly 7,000 pounds of ground beef due to a potential E. coli contamination, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Valley Meats LLC, based in Coal Valley, Illinois, is recalling 6,768 pounds of raw ground beef products. The items were produced on December 22nd of 2023. These are products that are being recalled. Labels for the products can be viewed on this website, but it's mostly Angus ground beef patties and things of the like.
Sounds like it's the angriest beef patties.
Yeah, that'll mess up your day, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Little E. coli.
I don't like tainted beef.
The items were shipped to distributors in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Michigan for further distribution to restaurants, according to the Food and Safety Inspection Service. There have not been confined cases or bad reactions to the meat, the inspection service reported. Those concerned about any injury or illness should contact a healthcare provider.
Your stomach flu last week.
Yeah.
Was that due to like some sort of bug, or was it like food poisoning?
You know, I don't know. I don't think it was food poisoning because my younger daughter got it like several days prior to.
Oh, okay.
Because initially I thought, wait a minute, there's three of us now ill. My sister, my other daughter, and myself. Maybe this is a case of some sort of food poisoning from Christmas dinner, but it was 2 days later.
Have you ever had food poisoning?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever been more sick in my life than when I had food poisoning for the first time.
I got sick. When I had severe food poisoning was in New Orleans back in 2007. My wife and we weren't even married yet. We just went down for a trip, down for a long Thanksgiving weekend. I think we went to New Orleans there. And I should have known that the cheapest place to buy lunch in New Orleans was the $5 lunch at this place. Now, I was the only one out of the three people that were there eating that had a French dip.
Okay.
Everybody else had something else.
And the au jus was probably tainted?
Something was tainted. I only was able to eat half of it. And I was like, I'll save this and bring it back to the hotel that we're staying at later. Well, I eat this thing, and the hotel is maybe a 10-minute walk from this restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I have this thing. I was like, let's go put this back in the fridge at the hotel, and we can come back out and walk around. Well, as I'm walking down the street, people in New Orleans are always like asking you for stuff. They're like professional panhandlers.
Sure.
They are. And this guy and there's a lot of street performers out there. This guy was the Silver Cowboy. You ever see the Silver Cowboy?
Yeah.
All dressed up in silver makeup and they're doing these like mime moves with like pretending like he's shooting out things. Fun things to watch on the side of the sidewalk, I guess, right? This guy says to me, sees me with the thing, and he's like, "You gonna eat that?" And I go, "I was." And he's like, "Can I have it?" And I go, "Sure. Go ahead, take it. It was only $5 anyway. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah, but this guy's hungry. Probably hasn't eaten in a while. I'll give him the food.
Well, he's got plenty of money for a silver makeup.
By the time I got back to the hotel, oh my God, it was like a I don't know, like a side of roast beef decided to form into some sort of monster inside my stomach and start having sword fights with another one. Which then ruined at least a day of the vacation.
My first time was at my college roommate's parents' house in Illinois, Thanksgiving. And the day before Thanksgiving, I ate something. I don't know what. I don't know what. I was sick Wednesday night through the following Saturday in his house, unable to move.
Oh.
It was bad. When I'm telling you it was bad, I was out for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Bad.
Oh, this lasted a day. This
no,
was like a day.
This lasted a couple of days. Like I slept through it, and I got lost a whole day. I have no idea what happened. I slept right through it, and then I felt better. And then we went to a restaurant to go meet some friends that and I couldn't last. I said, dude, you got to take me back home. You got to take me back to your house.
That sounds rough.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was so awful.
Well, we didn't see the cowboy again the next day.
Because he's probably dead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I hope he made it. We didn't even see him for the rest of the week while we were there.
Well, Silver Cowboy, be very careful what you ask for.
Because apparently it was his spot. Like, there's spots down there where you rent out.
Yeah.
Like, this is the spot you're going to be, and that's where the Silver Cowboy was. Well, the Silver Cowboy wasn't there. Somebody wasn't even filling in for him.
That spot was open, though.
It was probably that fat guy that gave me that sandwich that he's doing all right.
Awful.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, it is going to be sunny with a high of 39, which is a little chilly out there. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 40. It's 19 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Don't go through another year with Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:53 in Motley Crue with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Sunny today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 39. It's 19 right now in downtown Springfield.
Rock 102 and feelgoodshoplocal.com want to help you start the new year off right with a shopping spree. Over 50 local businesses on their site. You can shop from the comfort of your own home. You enter into rock102.com for your chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Feel Good Shop Local. Winner gets chosen on January 16th. It's your chance to win feelgoodshoplocal.com with Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. Now, a couple things, a couple of like local businesses I wanted to mention. The Apple Place in East Longmeadow.
Yeah.
For sale. They're retiring, and they're looking for someone to buy it out and take it over.
Why don't you do it?
Because I'm not really a farmy type of outdoorsman. I could scoop the ice cream. That I could do. But as far as being like the tree harvesting kind of guy, I don't know if that's really me.
A tree harvester?
Yeah, you got to pick the apples.
No, you don't. You just go out there, you let everybody else pick them. You get those sticks, and you give the people the sticks, and they go pick the apples for you.
Yeah, I know, but you still got to maintain the trees, though. That's the thing.
I don't have the inkling to do
I
that.
don't have that. But I mean, it would be great if someone could maintain the business.
Yeah.
It's a great business, great place.
What other businesses?
The other place I want to mention, because they get back on track today, Mykonos, which had spent many years at Eastfield Mall, opens up in their new location today at 10:30.
Where?
1441 Main Street, the TD Bank building on Main Street in Springfield.
That's a perfect place for there.
Yeah, so Chris is reopening, and apparently today is the first day. Today is Tuesday the 2nd, right? Yeah, Tuesday the 2nd. So good for him. I'm glad he's back in business. Went to that place quite a lot when he was in the mall.
It seemingly the Eastfield Mall closing has done good for people. Like I mean, to be put into that location after being in the mall where nobody was really going for that many years. At least you're getting exposure now.
Well, it's like like Hanush opened up a store across the street. Why should they have been in the mall and torn down like everybody else? They opened up another place. Good for them.
Wasn't Mykonos also on Brickwood Boulevard? Wasn't it?
Yeah. They had. Again, I don't.
Yeah.
You'll have to forgive me if I don't know Mykonos' entire history.
Well,
but
you should.
But they had a brick and mortar place, and then they sold that, and then was just doing business in the mall. And at the time, the mall was a bustling, place where commerce was happening. Up until the last few years, when the only thing that was happening was the bustling counter at Mykonos.
Yeah, well,
the only thing that was really happening there.
Well, but you had Donovan's.
And they've moved.
Everybody's moved. Everybody's moved, and they're doing better than they were when they were in a dead mall.
Absolutely. And you know what? One more place to have lunch at in Springfield, I think, is there's room for everybody. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for them. Hope they do well.
Things are looking up. There was I wanted to mention something if I could.
Sure.
Big comedy show coming up on January 20th.
Anything but that.
All right, forget it.
No, go ahead. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, big comedy show coming up on January 20th at the Elks Lodge out in Westfield.
Mm-hmm.
And $20. It's not like this other deal that you've heard about where you get $20 for dinner and a show. But you get $20, and it's a great comedy show with myself, Linda Belt, who has been around the area for
She's
many
funny.
years, and new up-and-coming comedian Emily Sierra. So it's gonna be a good, and Carlos Garcia is gonna host it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I'll be doing a boatload of time there too.
How much time you doing?
Probably like 45 minutes.
You got 45 minutes?
Yeah,
Wow, dude,
I know.
That's not an insult. That's like I'm impressed. That's really cool.
Well, I've been really working on a lot. I've been working on a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
I like to put up my jokes on the fridge, when I'm done with it. But
you get a star in your forehead every time something turns out to be funny.
But for the last few years, I've been writing a lot of stuff, and I've been writing a lot of new jokes. Some of it's like the typical old stuff to get me going,
right?
To get the act going,
like thought starters, kind of
thought starters.
Yeah.
You'll probably hear the same joke, multiple times if you go to multiple shows. But
not any different than this show.
No, but it's not any different than any other, comedian that you go to see. But I have a lot of other stuff that I've been really getting into. A lot of storytelling type of deal, like good storytelling, not crappy stuff. Not like, well, today's ranch dressing day. It's not like that. It's a little bit more elaborate than those.
Where there's actually like a beginning, middle, and a some sort of resolution.
Yeah, so I'm getting really more. I'm
That's
getting
awesome.
more comfortable. Obviously this is only a local thing right now. It's but I'd like to expand out.
This is a charity thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Elks Club itself is in desperate need of some repairs. There's some serious sewer issues going on there, or that hasn't happened yet, but
could.
Eventually will
Yeah.
if it's left undone. And if you don't take care of it now, for whatever the thousands of dollars that it's going to cost to repair, it's going to cost you
Gotcha.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. So
Right.
they're trying to raise that money, and it's going to be a great night out. So if you want to go to the show, you just go to my Facebook page or my Instagram page. There's a QR code. Now it has my real last name on the Venmo for tax purposes. You can't just throw that Nagle thing around there.
Yeah,
I think
I know.
everybody's going to adhere to that. But you can go buy tickets online, or you can stop down at the Westfield Elks Lodge any day after 3 o'clock and pick them up yourself.
Very good. It's 8:59 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Listen for Snow